This video is brought to you by the PWUnlimited TeePublic Store. Starting tomorrow, August 21st through August 25th, everything will be 35% off. Whether that is one of our PWUnlimited designs or a design that we are spotlighting from an independent artist, everything, like I stated, is 35% off. Everything from t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, stickers, pillows, cell phone cases, 35% off between August 21st and August 25th. Head over to bit.ly/PWU store now to check out what we have for sale. Hey guys, it's Timmy and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 20th of August 2019 to talk about Smackdown Live. And it was just a show. Raw was better. Raw was the better show. I will say that basically for a fact. There's a lot of almost boring things on the show tonight. And there was some okay stuff as well. But I wouldn't say there was anything that really knocked my socks off or anything. I even think the Buddy Murphy match against Daniel Bryan was not as good as the Roman Reigns Buddy Murphy match, to be completely honest. But before we get into all that, let's see who's with us here in the live chat. We do have Kristen McNutt, B-Ball Pro 1, Sinclair's Saturdays, George Don Cox, Jack Dawson, Dan Dragon Star, Oscar Strange Rodriguez, Legendary 3, R1K. So, like I stated, SmackDown was okay. A little meh at parts, especially the end. What the fuck was that? And it was, again, not as good as last night's Raw. So SmackDown kicks off, and on commentary, again, no Corey Graves. We've got David Otunga in his spot. Now, Corey Graves on vacation. Him and Carmella, they're in Jamaica. Yeah, they went to Jamaica together. Anyways, Randy Orton opens up the show, comes out. They recapped Orton and the Revival beating down Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E last night on Monday Night Raw. Orton made Kingston watch, as we saw last night. They showed it all in the replay. Orton called Kingston stupid repeatedly tonight, over and over. He noted that Kingston ran from him at SummerSlam. He said that he took the power of positivity out with an RKO. The New Day's music would hit. Orton waited in the ring. Kingston attacked Orton from behind and hit him with a Trouble in Paradise. Kingston brought in a steel chair and wrapped it around Orton's ankle. Kingston climbed to the top and teased jumping off the chair, but the Revival ran out. Kingston fought the Revival off and beat them down with the chair as well. Orton escaped and ran to the back. They recapped the Roman Reigns attack angle. Daniel Bryan promised to reveal the attacker's identity later tonight. On commentary, David Otunga claimed that he talked to a lawyer friend who knows that Bryan has done some extensive work. Tom Phillips congratulated NXT on the huge announcement today that NXT, starting September 15th, will be moving to the USA Network. Kevin Owens is shown entering Shane McMahon's office. Owens is trying to remain calm and focus on his King of the Ring match later tonight. Owens noted that being fined $100,000 is one thing still on his mind. Owens pointed out that the fine hurts his family. Owens noted that McMahon is a good father and knows that a fine like this hurts. He asked McMahon to reconsider the enormous fine. McMahon said he'd think about it. So then we got our first of two first-round King of the Ring matches tonight with Andrade and Apollo Crews. Really good match here. I thought this was probably one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match of the night. Right at the bell, Crews rocked Andrade with a clothesline for a near fall. Andrade fought back and hit the double knees in the corner for a 2. Andrade locked an armbar on into the ropes. He attempted a crossbody off the top, but Crews countered with a drop kick in midair that just totally destroyed Andrade in a good way. Andrade hit a plancha into a Hurricane Rana and sent Cruz into the ring steps. Back from the commercial break, Cruz launched Andrade into the air, hit him with double knees. He hit the Olympic slam for a near fall. Cruz attempted a power slam, but his injured arm gave out. Andrade missed the double knees in the corner. Cruz hit a standing shooting star press for a very, very close 2. Cruz tried to pull Andrade into the ring, but Vega grabbed Andrade's leg. Cruz tried to go after Vega. Andrade recovered and hit a hammerlock DDT for the victory on Apollo Crews, advancing to the quarterfinals on the Smackdown side. So in the back, we see Daniel Bryan and Rowan walking a guy dressed in all black and his face covered in like a, I don't even know what you would call it, pillowcase. Put him in a room. And they told him, sit here, do not move. And they locked the door behind them. 24/7 champion Elias was shown walking around backstage, and he noticed somebody that shouldn't be where they're at. So he taps the guy. The guy turns around. He takes the hat off, takes his hood, sweater off, whatever you want to call it, zip-up jacket, and it's John Cone. And Elias knows that if John Cone's there, somebody's also there trying to take his title. So he's like, where is he? And John Cone doesn't say where, and he points at one of the boxes. He's like, down there. And so he's pointing at the box, and Elias opens up the box, and Drake Maverick is there. Elias grabs Drake Maverick by the throat, thrusts him up out of this box, and sets him on another box. Hands him a piece of paper, says, read it. As Drake Maverick goes to try and read it, he's being choked by Elias. He's like, I can't breathe. It's pretty funny. So Elias, let's go. And he reads, tonight, the 24/7 championship rule of always being, defended at all times is put on hold due to Elias needing to focus on his qualifying match. Or not I don't know why I keep saying that. Qualifying match. No, first round match for the King of the Ring. So Drake Maverick's like, boom. He thought he had a good plan. Fortunately, Elias, friends with Shane McMahon. It said right there, sincerely, the best in the world, Shane McMahon. So we had a moment of bliss. Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would come out. They stated that Charlotte actually asked for this time. Bliss noted, Flair walked out, and she went to go next to the chair she was supposed to sit in. She looks at the chair. She goes, this chair? She points over to the King of the Ring throne and says, now that's a chair for me. So, no, I think she said that's more my style, actually. So Bliss noted that some people call the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley the face of SmackDown. And Flair, she laughed. Flair noted that Bayley's not marketable like she is. Flair pointed out that Bayley and this division is nothing more than an afterthought, that everybody was talking about her at SummerSlam. Bayley would then walk out and noted that Flair's just making a bunch of excuses. In the end, Bayley's the champion, and that means that she's better than Charlotte. Flair pointed out that at SummerSlam, everyone was talking about her match, not Bayley and Ember Moon. Bayley divulged the belt, and now Flair. Flair said that Bayley has brought that belt and the prestige down, and Flair needs to bring it back up. Flair then made a challenge to Bayley for Clash of Champions. Bayley accepted. Match has yet that I've seen to be officially announced by WWE. But it looks like Bayley versus Charlotte at Clash of Champions. Bayley then said, I got one more thing. And she pushes Charlotte down. She pushes the chair, actually, that Charlotte is sitting in. Charlotte falls out of the chair, falls onto this little end side table thing, gets that mean Charlotte Flair look, and Bayley walks off laughing. So backstage, you see Buddy Murphy getting ready for his match with Daniel Bryan, and he's approached by Roman Reigns. Reigns wants to know, are you lying to me? Are you lying to Bryan? Who are you lying to? You need to tell the truth. Murphy said he's pretty sure he saw Rowan in that hallway. Roman said, pretty sure? Yes or no? And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's who I saw. And based off of what we got at the end of the night, Buddy Murphy pretty much thought he saw Eric Rowan. I'm not going to lie. I would have thought it was Eric Rowan too. So after commercial break, Daniel Bryan would come out, called Buddy Murphy a liar and promised to reveal the real culprit later. He said they're going to reveal that Buddy Murphy had something to do with it too, which they didn't. So going forward, this is a good match. I wouldn't call it great. I actually thought that Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns was better for the fact of they went back and forth for the most part last week. Roman with a little more offense, but Buddy still getting a good amount of offense. And I felt Daniel Bryan had way too much offense on Buddy Murphy tonight. Just way too much. Like there was times when he was just killing Buddy Murphy, and then all of a sudden Buddy would get a quick counter, hit a move, and then Bryan's right back on him. So Murphy rocked Bryan early with a knee for a close near fall, right at the inside of the bell. Bryan fought back and hit Murphy with some forearms. Bryan followed it up with a knee to the back. Murphy fired back up, some hard chops, and whipped Bryan into the corner. Bryan did a backflip out of the corner and landed on his feet. Murphy sent Bryan to the floor and hit a flip dive. Back from a break, Murphy hit a Meteora for a close 2 count. Murphy favored his arm. Bryan applied the lapel lock, but Murphy made it to the ropes. Fans broke out in a loud "Let's go, Buddy" chant, actually. Buddy was rocked with kicks, and Daniel Bryan was yelling at him to stay down, you liar. Murphy kept getting back up. Murphy fought back, but Bryan trapped him in a tree of woe and then hit him with a dropkick to the face. Bryan followed it up with a belly-to-belly suplex from the top for a very close near fall. Excuse me. Murphy hit a super kick in the corner and hit a running sit-out powerbomb for a very close 2. Bryan and Murphy traded hard shots in the middle of the ring here for a moment. Bryan rocked Murphy with some uppercuts. Murphy countered with running knees into a backslide for a 2 count. Murphy then hit a knee and a Kamagoye for another 2. Rowan jumped on the apron and distracted Buddy Murphy. Bryan then rolled him up for a 2 count. Murphy rocked Rowan with a super kick and knocked him off the apron. Murphy caught Bryan with a knee and hit him with a Murphy's Law for the victory out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming whatsoever. I did not expect Buddy Murphy to defeat Daniel Bryan. But hey, good for Buddy Murphy. Good for Buddy freaking Murphy. So then, after the match, Kayla Braxton attempted to interview Buddy Murphy about his win over Daniel Bryan when he was attacked by Bryan and Rowan. He was thrown all over backstage. He was just beat down, and finally Rowan gave Murphy the Iron Claw on a box. So next up, we had the Revival. Before the match, the Revival challenged the Smackdown Live Tag Team Champions of the New Day for a match at Clash of Champions. The Revival were selling injuries from Kofi Kingston's chair shots earlier in the night. Out would come Heavy Machinery to take on the Revival. Tucker caught Wilder early in a bear hug and worked over the injured ribs. Tucker tagged in Otis and tossed Wilder into his arms. Otis and Tucker gave Dash and Dawson delayed standing vertical suplexes. Back from the break, Wilder hit a bulldog on Tucker for a 2 count. Dawson missed an elbow off the top. Otis got the hot tag and ran wild. He then hit the Caterpillar on Wilder and set him up for a compactor. Dawson made the save, and Wilder rolled up Tucker for the victory. So the Revival coming out victorious here after challenging the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. Then, Kayla Braxton approaches Chad Gable. She asked him about everyone calling him an underdog in the King of the Ring tournament. He said he's been overcoming the odds all his life. Everybody has called him an underdog. And in the background, we see Shelton Benjamin pandering around, whatever you want to call it. Not pandering, but lurking. That's the word I'm looking for. Shelton Benjamin lurking. And he puts this thing on the men's locker room door. And Gable's sitting there. He's talking. He's like, people told me when I started in wrestling I wasn't good enough. I should go try something else. I wasn't good enough to make the Olympic team. I wasn't big enough to be in WWE. And Gable's like, I'm going to prove against Shelton Benjamin next week why I deserve to be in the King of the Ring tournament. So he turns around and he goes to the locker room door and he sees the sign where it says, you must be this tall to enter the King of the Ring. He's about 3 inches taller than he actually is. And they'd had a perfect camera angle that actually made it look higher than it actually was. And because of the camera angle, it made Gable look a little smaller than he actually is. So I thought that was done really well. Big pop and laugh from the crowd. Then in a very interesting segment, we got Miz TV. And Miz comes out and says, this time was requested by Sami Zayn. I don't know why he wants to be here on Miz TV. So let's get him out here and find out. And so Sami Zayn would come out, and Zayn pointed out that he doesn't care about The Miz or his show, but he needed the interview time. So why do you need the interview time? Why do you have to be on Miz TV? Like with Charlotte earlier, why do you be on Moment of Bliss? Why can't you just request to go down to the ring and talk? I mean, I get it this time. Like with Charlotte, it didn't make sense. There's no need for Charlotte to be out there, or for Charlotte to be on Moment of Bliss. But this made sense for what they did. Zayn needed a guinea pig. So Miz noted that Zayn's been on quite of a losing streak. Zayn was trapped in WWE's greed, he stated. Zayn, as always, fought for a cause and fought for what was right. He then realized there are people on Smackdown that need his help. And Miz is like, who needs your help? He's like, well, for one, the man that's ready to come out now. And actually, out would come Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Miz asked Nakamura why he'd associate himself with Sami Zayn. Zayn pointed out that Nakamura's Japanese and that he's an artist. And he can't really, what did he say? He can't really express himself in the right way because he's always got to figure out how to say things right in English. Zayn called Nakamura, like I said, an artist and a poet. Zayn says that he is now going to speak for Nakamura. Miz tried to talk to Nakamura. He's like asking him questions, and he just points over at Sami like, ask him. Nakamura then jumped Miz from behind and beat him down. Zayn pulled Nakamura off and backed him into the corner. Zayn pretended like he was checking on the Miz, but then he held him down, and Nakamura hit him with a Kinshasa. I don't get this. Nakamura looked like a great heel here. I don't have to say anything. I'm just going to let my actions, speak for me. Sami's going to talk for me sometimes, and we'll see where this goes. That's what it came off as, and it was meh. So in the back, Bryan and Rowan entered the locker room. They approached the guy in the hood. Bryan was furious and noted that he's called Roman Reigns in here to see who this man is. So Kevin Owens entered Shane McMahon's office. McMahon asked Owens to apologize. He said, after everything that's gone down, you still haven't even apologized. And he's like, you can't put your hands on an official. He's like, I'd consider lifting the fine. Owens then said, okay, I'm sorry. He said, but, Shane said that if you put your hand on another official, I'll have no choice but to fire you. This was funny. Owens put his hand out for like a handshake with Shane, and Shane's just like, I'm not there yet. I thought that was great. So then we got another first round King of the Ring match. Elias versus Kevin Owens. And I forget that Elias has actual entrance music. I honestly forget that. They were like, you hear the walk with Elias. And then it plays music, and I'm like, oh yeah. Elias has got actual entrance music. So in this match, Owens had the early advantage and sent Elias to the floor. Owens attempted to dive, but Elias walked off. Owens and Elias brawled on the floor for a while, and Elias sent Owens into the steps to briefly take over. Owens fought back and hit a cannonball in the corner in the ring. Suddenly, Shane McMahon's music would hit as he walked down to ringside. This was obviously distracting Kevin Owens as we went to the commercial. As we come back from the commercial, Elias was firmly in control with a chin lock, and Shane was sitting in a chair at ringside watching the match go on. During the break, we saw that Owens hit a frog splash off the apron to the floor. Elias rocked Owens with a knee for a 2 count. He slowed down the pace with another chin lock on Owens. Owens fought back and attempted a pop-up powerbomb, but Elias avoided it. Owens then sent Elias to the floor and hit a cannonball off the apron. Suddenly, McMahon got out of his chair, took off his shirt, and revealed that he's the referee. McMahon entered the ring, and the original referee stepped out. Owens went for a stunner, but Elias pushed him. Owens almost ran into Shane McMahon, but stopped himself just in the nick of time. Elias rolled up Owens, and McMahon with the fast 3 count. 1, 2, 3, Elias advances in the King of the Ring. Yes, Kevin Owens eliminated in the first round. So let me go to the back. We see Roman Reigns walking down the hall, and he enters the room where Daniel Bryan is. Bryan noted they said Rowan didn't do it, and nobody believed him. He then revealed the culprit by pulling off the hood or the pillowcase, whatever you want to call it. And it was a guy that looked 99% identical, maybe 95% identical to Rowan. So at glance, yeah, Buddy Murphy would have fucking thought that was Rowan. Of course. And Roman Reigns is standing there, looking at the guy just in shock. Just like, wait, what? Looks at Rowan, looks at this guy, looks at Rowan, looks at this guy, looks at Rowan, looks at this guy, doesn't know what to think as the show goes off the air. Yep. We still don't know what's going on. They're pushing this bullshit out another week. I thought maybe it would be Harper. Wasn't Harper. That wasn't Harper. Like, for people online who are like, did they change Harper's look? Is that Harper? No, that wasn't fucking Harper. But, interesting. Interesting way to end it. Just, I have no clue where this is going. 100% honest. I have no clue who the heck that is. What the heck that could have been. And yeah, that was Smackdown. Just looking at the chat here. Got a question here from 817 and the text message says, what are your thoughts on Ariel Monroe and Sadie Gibbs joining the Casino Battle Royal? Cool. I know some people have been like, oh, well, that's Cedric Alexander's wife, Ariel Monroe. So she needs to work too. And if WWE isn't signing her, why not go work for AEW? It doesn't matter. Hell, NXT champion Adam Cole, his girlfriend Britt Baker works for the company. She was one of the first people they announced. Doesn't matter if your significant other works for the enemy. It really doesn't. This person here says, if I can get it to load up. 269 says, what do you think of another KO Shane? What do you think for another KO versus Shane at Clash of Champions? Stipulation, if KO wins, Shane lifts the fine. I think he's lifted the fine already anyways. That's what he said tonight. He's like, yeah, I'll lift your fine. But I don't want to see another one. Hopefully, we don't get another Hell in a Cell between these two. That's what I don't want to see. This dragged out all the way to Hell in a Cell. But yeah, Jason Dalton, I agree. Horrible ending. Like, who the hell was that guy? Looks like the guy. I don't even know. Harper got himself a twin brother that we didn't know about. Another vintner. They both out there making wine together. Very odd. Very interesting. Very crazy. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight to talk SmackDown Live. Thank you for everybody that watched later right here on YouTube or listened on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, and so much more. We will be live tomorrow night with the PWUnlimited Wednesday show. And remember, everything on the PWUnlimited store will be on sale starting tomorrow. 35% off. T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, stickers, pillows. I mean, it's going to start getting cold in a little while. Why not get a brand new hoodie with Macho Mouse, with Becky Two Belts, with John Moxley on it? Why not? Head over there tomorrow between August 21st and August 25th, bit.ly/PWU store, where everything will be 35% off. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.